that's a beautiful question. Where do I even start on it? I think let's start with your love for people. Your love for people is tenacious, right? And not just for people, but seeing people do better, be better, whether it be in their personal life, spiritual life, work life, and all aspects of that. I think for me, there's a number of lessons I've learned from that. There, I think the biggest thing I've learned is understanding that, and not to say, maybe kind of give context first before I say make the statement I'm going to say. I come from a very traditional family, right? My mom stayed at home all day, looking after the family. My dad was out all day, making sure that taking care of the family financially, right? And you get from that aspect, I got to see what people would like to term, or what I would like to say, a very traditional household. Stepping into this household where I saw you at the reins, being mother and father, being provider, caretaker, and fulfilling every other role a man should or a woman should fulfill, was very eye-opening. And I think for me, that brought a whole different level of respect. Number two, it was beginning to understand when you are able to help, in this instance, your partner, a person, another female, whether it's through the right platform, whether it's through advice, whether it's through support, when you're able to help create that for them, you help them to able flower into the person they are meant to be, right? And I think that's what you've done in part for me. Or there's been a lot of Passover, of that wisdom, knowledge, being comfortable with a woman taking her rightful place in a home, right? Whatever shape and form that looks like for everybody, but most importantly, giving her the right platform to be able to be successful, and whatever success means for you in that particular instance. I think when it comes to a third element, I would like to bring out how do you even word this, courageousness, the courage it takes, right, to sit as a single mother and do what you do, to have your parents living on your property, to have three, myself, Sharice, and Taylor, different kids in the home with three completely different characteristics, but still keep it all together. These are true character traits of a God-given ability, and I think mainly women get that, to hold a family together, right? Where I've seen that done by, both mom and dad, and not just a singular person. I think, the lesson I take from that is, courage is power.
Right, it is power.
It is. Courage used in the right way is even more powerful, Positively, yes. Correct. Yes.
No, I think what you've shared is valuable, because what we are trying to do here is just to become better versions of ourselves, just to help one another, because why are we here? If we don't have purpose and we're self-centered, it's not going to do much for us. So it's actually in being selfless. I strongly believe in that, and that's just purely in the flesh. Life can be very, very difficult, but when you stand on God's word and you stand on His promises and the peace that He says He leaves with us, we hold on to that peace. Because as humans, there's a lot of pain often. Often we feel the pain. We're challenged by society and just the economy, and just the world today is not easy. But I think when we stand true to ourselves, and we always are conscious of others, because with the difficulties that people face today, it could be that last straw on the camel's back.
one thing I've also been able to learn just by observing is, through you specifically, is how to help a very strong-willed and very strong woman continue to build character, or continue to become more of herself, or continue to grow. Um, and I've sat back and watched you and what you do, and I see a lot of similar character traits in Sharice. I see a lot of similar character traits in Taylor, and it's so easy for us as men to be able to cut wings, or to break, or to say things that might cripple. Like you said, love is God, and love is kindness. How are we as men being kind towards the women around us, to empower them, to take their God-given abilities, empower them. When Sharice and I first got married, there's a post she showed me, and the post said, do not turn out this little girl's fire, because one day she'll need it. And I think as men, we have the power to either help build that flame,
and let it shine brightly.
Correct. In a positive
manner, right?
In a positive manner. Or we have the ability to completely
put it out.
Yes. And I think that's one thing you've taught me is how to help put guardrails in place, how to be a nurturer of a flame, and not necessarily a destroyer of one.
Correct. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Jenna. And me being open to have courageous conversations, even be it something negative, but being open enough to share my truth. I'm trusting that made it a lot easier.
Yes and no. I think yes, from the aspect of exactly where that person stands. No, from the perspective of sometimes when you disagree with it, or you have a different view, slightly different perspective on your opinion, it becomes I wouldn't say challenging, because yes, as you mentioned, you are very conscious, you are very open to listening, but in the same breath, it may take 3 or 4 conversations before there's a shift.
Right.
So you would hear something, you'd internalize, you'd process. That same thing may happen 2 or 3 times as you're shifting your perspective towards that topic we're talking about, to see it from many other angles, right?
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yes, like that. It's like there's many ways to get to 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be 9 plus 1, it can be 6 plus 4, it can be 5 plus 5. But I think it's been open to adapt, to grow, to push oneself, correct?
Yeah.
So many people out there always say that a mother-in-law and a son-in-law relationship is a strained relationship. I mean, the majority. I'm not saying everybody, I don't have facts, but most people find it challenging, they find it difficult to get on with their mother-in-laws. But I would like to believe when your heart is open and we are accepting, and we'd rather be kind than be right, because there's always different opinions, and we always want the good for all, it can work well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our message to everybody out there is building brick by brick. You can build solid relationships.
Absolutely.
And even when there's a difference in opinion and a difference in character, a difference in background, you can work towards something great.
Absolutely. I fully agree. I think it's so critical that, as you mentioned earlier, in a relationships between a mother-in-law and a son-in-law, it is not rushed, it is not pressurized, and that both parties are willing and able to adapt, adjust, learn and grow, right? If one isn't, then it creates a hindrance. If the other one isn't, it creates the same hindrance, right?
Right. Right.
So, and I think that that is a good foundation. And I mean, once you've created the foundation, like our spiritual background or our Christian background teaches us, once the roots are deep, once the foundation is built on solid rock and not on the sand, no matter how hard the winds or the waters may come and blow, the relationship will remain solid.
Correct, correct. And I think what has helped us hugely is the fact that we share the same faith. I mean, we're both on fire for Christ, and that makes it so much easier. There is a bigger power beyond us. So when you hold on to faith and you have blind faith, it makes things so much easier.
Absolutely.
Right? And we are intentional. I think relationships can be rocky, they can be amazing, they go through different phases, but when you're intentional to build something, the world's your oyster. Especially mother-in-law and son-in-law, just have those courageous conversations, and the true essence is shown up.